I'm hungry! I'll write jokes for food! I wish a philanthropist YouTuber would just give me 10K and not film it! Hey!
Wait,
what the hell happened
this
to
was
you?
kind of like
MrBeast, that's what happened to me!
What we do here is go
Oh my
back,
God,
back,
he did
back,
the
back,
fucking-
back, 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 back.
I was gonna be somebody! I was gonna be the... Carl took my job! Carl took my job! I'm the worst production I did it made me do! Oh, no! I didn't... No!
Beat him up some more!
Okay, content cop from Temu back at it again. So just before I get into my interrogation with former MrBeast employee Jake Weddle, a lot has happened since my last video. After posting it, I got hundreds of messages from former MrBeast
I imagine he got death threats, 100%.
employees, and I had them all like send proof of former employment. You know, just people showing their support or telling their stories of you know, fake videos or unsafe practices, you know, toxic workplace, stuff like that. I'm not really going to get into those claims because, for one, like, most people want to stay anonymous, which I understand. And also, like, I think most of that stuff's just been covered with you know, the news coming out about Beast Games and everything. And also, I have, like, more serious allegations that I want to start covering. Also, I heard from a very credible source that MrBeast has been sitting on a response to part 1 because he was worried if he posted it, I would instantly respond with part 2, you know, like this is Kids Bop, Kendrick Lamar versus Drake. Also, I know MrBeast's secret CEO has been practically like harassing my people on, you know, hey, what's in part 2? What does he know?
Mafia boss tactics of intimidation. Don't release part 2 or you're gonna get it!
We'll just tell you, James, what will be in part 3, so you don't have to harass my people. It will be about serious allegations of sexual misconduct in the company and your direct involvement in covering up those crimes. And I'll make sure to give you full credit and plaster your face all over the screen when we talk about that. So yeah, nice. I've gotten dozens of messages from former MrBeast employees of very serious allegations. So I just want to put a call to action at the start of this video that, you know, if you have a story, you can DM me. Just make sure you send proof of employment first, because I get a lot of DMs. And like, as much as I meme and joke around, like, I take anonymity very seriously. So without explicit permission, I don't go public with anything. And obviously, if it goes to court, I would hope they would censor your information from the court documents. I don't know. Oh, and former contestants too. So. That's another thing I heard after posting my last video is during the 100 Boys versus Girls video, I have people corroborating the same story that the camera guy who gave the girls a drone was.
I know in the 100 Boys versus Girls video that they fed us boys hours after the girls each time. And it really got on our nerves because it blatantly became obvious that they wanted the girls to win! I know that the camera guy who gave the girls a drone was being extremely inappropriate with the girls as I started talking to them after the shoot. Maybe they feel very uncomfortable. Holy smokes, man. If this is true, it's actually over. They teased and taunted a few of the girls. Okay. Oh my god, man.
Making some girls feel uncomfortable. You know, you trap these girls in a circle and make them sleep on rough turf and get them high on paint fumes, and then you try to f them.
Okay, that...
MrBeast production crew trapping 100 girls in a circle, depriving them of sleep, starving them, and trying to ban them.
That seems really dark.
No, it's not dark. You're misunderstanding me, bro.
I think I am.
Yeah, you are. Because if the girl said no, then the answer obviously is no.
No.
But the thing is she's not gonna say no. She would never say no because of the implication.
Guys, I'm kind of scared.
Anyway, so that will be part 3. So, you know, MrBeast, do with that information what you will. I know Chucky didn't want to respond to those allegations. So anyway, my interview with Jake Weddle.
By the way, if I'm covering it, but he brought up a Twitter DM of him trying to message Chucky and he didn't respond. I'm still floored that that person that apparently worked for MrBeast basically just tiptoed around the entire situation and didn't respond to any of the actual allegations regarding the child gambling, the whole I'm not a bad guy, I'm not harboring anyone or lying. It's just all a bunch of like, this is real, our videos are real. No one cares, by the way.
I chose to interview him because I thought he was perfect because he was both on camera and behind the scenes in 2019 and 2020. And also, what people don't know is that he came back in 2021 to be the sole contestant of a MrBeast video, which never got uploaded because it went very badly. He also knows about another portable document format.
A PDF file? Oh boy.
Who was working at MrBeast while actually on the registry.
He didn't check him?
And I'll get more into that story at the end of the video. So I got his DM, drove straight to New York overnight, did not sleep, just drank a bunch of caffeine, and I also only had one microphone in the interview, which he's wearing. So it's mostly just him talking. Also, like, final thing, people said my last video started slow. This video also starts slow. It builds up over time, but I'll do the retention thing and say, the ending will blow your mind. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay, Jake Weddle, everybody.
I'm Jake Weddle. Most people who, if you know me from MrBeast, I'm a deep cut. I'm in a few of the videos, sometimes maybe purposefully kept to the shadows a little bit. I'm in the cutting room floor a lot of the time.
Yeah,
but
right
I've
there,
done some videos, I've worked on a lot of them. I was there from 2019.
Giving 100 children to an offender. Guys, stop. Stop it.
To 2020, 2021-ish when I came back and did some more. I was there when they were authentic, and then I saw the transition to what I feel like is a company. He's like a TV show now. It went from YouTuber guy with a camera to Amazon. The culture around there was very unspoken, but there was a vibe. There was half the people who, if you made Jimmy happy, you were on the good half.
That is a really telling thing with cults. If you're on the good side of the cult leader, you get praised and you get loved and you get put in favoritism. But if you don't and you cross him, I've seen many documentaries regarding cults. Yeah. That's what they do in Scientology as well.
And these people got random bonuses and were usually moved up, had more screen time. And then there was people who, if you had a disagreement or butt heads with Jimmy, or just you didn't like it, you were the other half. And I consistently was in the half that Jimmy doesn't like me. That's fine. I don't like him either. It's okay. It feels so good to say. I don't like Jimmy. I hate you so much. He didn't want anyone to get more popular or have more of a way out necessarily. Like, oh, I'm doing my Twitch thing on the side. Don't do that because you could get famous and leave and talk about me negatively.
Nah, really?
I could tell that the yes men were, doing well, and I was, disgruntled for quite some time. So
I hate that. I remember I used to work a job where the boss favored one of the chicks because they were friends with their daughters. Yeah, they were friends with his daughter, so he couldn't he liked her more than everyone else, and it was very obvious. Even though she didn't do a great job, it was just okay.
I've talked to reporters, right? Like publicly. And I've always had to choose my words very, very carefully because I don't want to say anything I don't stand behind, obviously. So I used to talk to people. I used to glaze Jimmy publicly for things I do genuinely think are true. But then it's like, well, how come you didn't talk about the working conditions? Well, I wanted a career. I didn't want to, speak ill of YouTube's golden boy, and then I'm blacklisted forever. I tell people I was talking to you, they go, "Don't, what are you doing? You're going to kill your career." It's like, I have to, or I'll be sad. If this is the moment, we're going to talk about it, so.
He's the Harvey Weinstein of YouTubing.
As far as that, that's my covering up of why we didn't talk about XYZ sooner, but now you know.
What would you say is the fakest video that you worked on while you were there?
Fakest video that I worked on while I was there. This is the extent of the fakeness that I was involved to. This is admitting to my complicity. I was a writer there, and we were working on a video, crushing my friend's car with a rock or meteor or something. It was a rock or a meteor in the title of it. I can't remember, but he wanted to do a prank where, unbeknownst to the person, he takes a rock, crushes their car, and they're supposed to think a rock came out of space.
We're gonna take a meteor and we're gonna put it on Weddle's car. We're gonna take another meteor and put it on Marcus's car. Both of them have no idea that we're doing this. Weddle and Marcus are probably shocked. They had no idea.
And so that was the one and only.
Yeah, but if you actually have more than like 10 IQ points collectively in your brain rubbing together, obviously it's staged because they can sue you for damaging their car. Like, this is aimed for children who are stupid. Obviously. It's for entertainment purposes. I'm not saying it's a bad video, but like...
time I had to, my car? What? And on the fly, I saw him, because Marcus was in that video. So Marcus is calling his mom. Marcus genuinely had no idea. He genuinely had no idea. But, so Marcus is calling his mom, and his mom's freaking out. And I'm like, oh no, they're going to call my mom next. So I had to text my mom, who had to beg to get the title very quickly. Now I'm texting my mom, I go, Mom, I'm about to call you about the meteor thing. You have no idea? Be surprised. And then I hit send, and then they go, call your mom now. And I call my mom and I tell her, and oh, she should have got the Oscar. Oh my God.
Oh, he's glazing his mom. That's kind of cute.
On the fly, she goes, what? I'm on vacation.
Mom, my car has been destroyed.
Wait, what?
A meteor hit it.
Jacob, I'm on vacation.
Oh. Good one, Mom. Good. She's a good mom. Act shocked. Look, if you were on the spot, I would hope that your guys' moms or dads would help you out.
Yeah, I did that video, and they're supposed to give me $10K to put a down payment on a new car, and they wanted me to get like a big flashy new car. $10K was supposed to be a down payment. And I can't afford a big flashy new car.
Wait. They wanted him to have a down payment, so if he gets a really expensive car, then he has to pay for it even if he can't afford it? Why would he do that? He probably doesn't have that kind of money. Yeah, he's stuck with the contract or whatever. Yeah, you have to pay the insurance. So if it's a really expensive, like, Ferrari or something. Yeah, they're not paying it in full, chat. So just so we're clear, they said down payment. So, like, imagine someone says, I have a gun to your head. You have to pick a house. And you're like, okay, I'm going to live within my means. I'm going to purchase a modest house. And then so that I can afford to pay the mortgage or the monthly payments, right? This is what they're doing, but with a car. Of course I would go for, like, the cheaper car. I can afford, like, a Ferrari monthly payment.
Because I work at MrBeast.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get anything I couldn't afford the taxes on. I couldn't get anything I couldn't afford the insurance on.
Yeah.
So I do my part of the video, and I get a mom van that I could afford. And Jimmy was like, why do you...
Yeah, this seems reasonable. I don't think he did the wrong thing. That sounds like a sensible thing to do. Yeah, they crushed his car, sure, but, like... Makes the video, now you're stuck working for MrBeast so you can pay it off? Well, not even that. What if you can't afford it even if you work for MrBeast?
You get a cooler car. I was like, I can't afford that, bro. Come on, what are you talking about? You know, if I was working on a TV show in the 90s, on a show that was a quarter as successful, I could retire today. But now I make dog shit pay, making gajillionaires more money. And I just walked into the writer's room, and that's one of the reasons why I left, was because I just walked in there and asked for not necessarily a gajillion.
Guys, he's nervous, man. Chill on, like, calling him neurotic and shit. Like, nah, man. He's just nervous, dude. Do you realize, like, he could get sued and ruined? I would be nervous, too. When I get nervous, I start freaking yapping my head off.
Dollars, but maybe a salary that was more proportional to the work I was doing, given how much revenue that work was doing. And then, you know, I talked about that, and I talked about the Writers Guild and how this is what the Writers Guild industry standard is for the streaming internet content with ads. I thought that was the closest thing to YouTube, and I didn't even bring up residuals, because oh my god, if I got residuals for every video I worked on,
yeah,
boy howdy, I could retire. But yeah, the other thing I talked about was there was another writer there, older comic, black guy. He had a kid, and I got paid more than him, and I thought that was wild because he was older than me, had a child. We're doing the exact same job, and I'm some 20-year-old fuckhead white guy. Why am I getting paid more than him? I brought that up, and one of the things I didn't like about the way some of the Beast stuff shook out was
that's so weird. That is so weird. He didn't pay them equally?
Yeah.
He's probably not under scrutiny either because it's like a YouTube job and not like an actual corporation.
I feel really guilty about the way this like shook out. Yeah, I was talking to this other writer, like, it's fucked up, you know, that's how the pay is, and I want you to get paid more, you know, because you deserve to get paid more. You know, I don't have a kid. And he didn't want to rock the boat. He desperately didn't want to rock the boat. He's just, I like my job. I like, you know, because when you grow up with, you know, nothing, not to say that he did, but I know I did, you know. You get a little something, you don't want to lose it. So he didn't want to rock the boat. But he said, hey man, if that's how you feel, you know, like if that's like, I trust you. He stood with me. He went to that meeting with me. And I said my piece and he backed me up. I said, I need XYZ or I'm out of here. And
the guy with the kid backed them up? Oh man.
They said bet, and they gave me a severance check the next day. And they gave him a severance check the next day.
What?
And if I knew he was going to lose his job too, I wouldn't have done it.
Nah, that's horrible, man. I've heard stories like that too. Like they both complained because they had unequal pay or something happened, they both got fired. They got a severance, man. They got severance check, and then they had to go back to his family. That's sad, bro. If that's true, that's so sad.
Me, I was over the moon. I was like, you're gonna give me a check and I get to leave? You know, I don't get to deal with the yeah. How many Orbeez can I fit up my asshole every day? You know, and I get to go home and you're gonna pay me to leave. I was over the moon. And he was devastated. He did not want. I said he just wanted to be in the room, you know?
Yeah.
And I really regret that.
It is very, very scary when you have a sudden shift in your job when you have a kid. It's very, very very scary.
But, you know.
That's why he was not as affected, and he said he felt really bad.
We're really still tight. We're still good friends. Is he doing good? Yeah, he's doing good. He's a good guy. I love that guy. He's doing good. Yeah.
So maybe you'll feel better?
Honestly, best thing I could have done for him. Now that he's very, very far removed from all this crazy shit, I guess.
Do you think Jimmy really enjoys doing good and helping people?
I think Jimmy wants to be the best YouTuber. I think he is laser focused on one goal.
Yeah, he's a brand. Like someone said earlier, he's not human, he's a brand now. He's like Ronald. He's like Ronald McDonald. Ronald McDonald.
I think whatever he has to do to achieve that goal, he'll do. And I think it was the smartest decision for him that he calculated, because he's very good with numbers.
Mm-hmm.
If I donate to charity, people can't say I'm shitty. If I give this homeless guy 10K, what do you mean I'm a bad guy?
Chat. Corporations do that too. Yeah, we sponsor the Olympics. Yeah, we have our own case for charity for children's hospitals. But we also cause child obesity at McDonald's here. We're not the bad guys. We love kids.
But I've always thought, if you're going to do something nice for somebody and you stick a camera in their face while you do it, that you didn't do a nice thing.
That's what I always thought was really disingenuous. I don't know. I've seen plenty of documentaries of helping homeless people and stuff, but when you shove it in their face, it's so forced. The entire video is centered around that, right? Like, I've seen ones where they're like walking around, talking to like people around, you know, the area where they're affected, and the guy just kind of slips them like, you know, $100. They don't make the entire video about it. I don't know. This is just my opinion. It's just my opinion.
For somebody, you gained something. There was a homeless guy on the street, and you saw an opportunity for yourself and your image, and you gave one guy $10,000 who needed it to eat, and now the revenue you generated from that video is way more than what you gave. I think when he's generous on camera, it's the least authentic thing in the world. There's an element of, you know, oh, hey, you're crying. That's so good for camera. You know, I'm so glad he's... If you're crying because you're so thankful that you got XYZ, and then you go, oh, I'm so glad he needed it that bad so I could come in and, oh, can you cry more? Oh, it's so good for the camera if you could... Oh, it made me uncomfortable that I was working there.
Is that really how they behave? Like, is that extrapolation or is that really what was behind the camera, man? Again, there's no evidence, chat. I'm just putting this into perspective where we can look at it. There's no evidence of it, but like, damn, that is fucked up. Yeah, that's nasty. That is so gross if that's true, man. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, I don't know. Everything kind of just lines up, you know? You connect the dots.
And I didn't like it, and I vocalized it sometimes, and I think that's why I wasn't on camera as much as they said I was going to be. I was told at one point that I was going to be like fourth banana, you know, it was going to be Jimmy, Chris, Chandler, me, you know? Okay. And I never happened. Yeah. I remember talking about that, like, hey, I thought my contract said XYZ. And then I got the severance checks. So, you know, whatever, all that regard.
So after your severance checks, how was your relationship with the company? I know you appeared in videos after that, right?
Right. So in videos where I was appearing in later, that's why you keep nice publicly. If you're nice in public, hey, Jake was nice in public. Let's have him back for something. You know, yeah, sure. So I was hoping they call back. You know, and I appeared in some videos after I left. I think one of them was 3 days in a maximum security prison. If I did do mini challenges in that, I got paid. I was, you know, clocked in with a rate, and I would get paid and compensated for those.
It's just an expectation, man. It's scary how much influence you can have with just money. Like, Jimmy was literally a who. And now you're making millions of dollars, and suddenly it's like, oh, okay, maybe if I'm nice to you and I can... Like, this is like the yes man shit, right? MrBeast videos aren't charity, in my opinion. Charity is doing something without expecting anything in return. The people he gives things are basically just temporary workers, at least in my opinion. Yeah, but then he also puts like kind of like a proverbial gun to their head, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to react appropriately, you know?
But there was one video I was in, I got paid a lot for it, but it didn't come out. It didn't come out because it didn't go well. Mm-hmm. There was a video that came out probably like a year ago, something like that. It got a lot of hot water when it came.
YouTube star MrBeast paid a man 340,000 American dollars to spend 21 days in a windowless room, according to his new video. Okay.
It was the like surviving like $10,000 every day you survive in solitary, or surviving solitary for whatever.
Oh, that's a really old video, I'm pretty sure.
It was one of those solitary confinement videos that got a lot of media attention because everybody saw the premise and thought, what? You shouldn't do that. And people don't know that was the second attempt. The first attempt was on me, and it didn't go well.
What?
I was already planning on moving to New York, and I had worked at a couple of YouTube companies after Beast, and I had a little bit of change in my pocket. You know, the most change I had in my pocket ever. You know, small potatoes, you know, compared to Beast bullshit. But you know, I thought I had enough to move to New York or whatever. And I get a call from somebody over there, and they go, "Hey, they want you."
I never put much thought to it because I've seen MrBeast videos in the past, right? But I always just think to myself, yeah, it's all fake, right? You know what I'm saying? If it's fake, why even do it? Actually, makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. If they say, oh well, like, you know, it doesn't really matter if it's CGI or not, why would you do it in real life? They clearly faked the sailing video where they had people pop out, but they weren't actually in there, so they were probably like sleeping on a ship off camera and were just filming the boat. Why would you just not fake it then? This makes no sense!
For a video. I was like, oh, amazing, great, cool, thank God. What's the video? And they tell me the pitch. And they try to make the pitch sound like it's going to be like a walk in the park. Okay. The pitch is 100 days in solitary confinement. But don't worry, like, you only have to last like 30, we have like a video. They're pitching it like at first it's gonna be like a luxury vacation. You're gonna have like a hot tub and an ice cream machine, and like part of the video is gonna be you deciding like what items am I gonna get rid of, today, and it's like the choice.
You know what's really weird? I remember watching a video of a guy who sat in a room that had no noise cancellation, and he put a timer on for like 12 hours, and he said by 8 hours he was going insane. He started hearing voices, and he's not schizophrenic or anything. It's just that when you're that unstimulated, your brain starts to like tricking you, I guess. Vsauce? No, I don't think it was Vsauce. It was a TikTok. It was not Vsauce. Yeah, where you can like hear the blood rushing in your ears because it's so quiet, because your brain starts to like make up things because you're so like understimulated. Yeah, it makes up external information for you. Yes. Yeah, and it's bizarre because that's how it is.
They were like, it's only going to be bad for the last like 5 days tops when you have like nothing left. You're the first, it's going to be like a breeze for most of it. And by the end of it, after 30 days, you're going to get $300,000 because it's $10,000 a day. And I don't know, man. I grew up poor in North Carolina. I said, excuse me? I'll dance for you if you put that kind of money in my face, sure.
Monkey dance! Monkey dance!
They were like, you're going to be locked in this room, and we got to make sure you're on all the time. We're going to have cameras on you all the time, and you're perfect for this because you never shut the fuck up.
It's kind of sad because it's like, if you're smarter than someone else and then you tell them to do this, but they don't know about this thing, like us chat, like quote unquote, we're smart, like smarter, I guess, because we know about this, right? We heard about this from like Vsauce or whatever video we watched. You're like preying on this guy because he doesn't know. Yeah, chat is very smart.
On paper, I was like, okay, I can do this, and I was. They always cut me out of the videos. They always, and I was, editors have told me that it's because you have too much of a personality. And so with this video, I thought, this is perfect. It's a video they can't cut me out of. I'm the guy, and so I thought, well, if I have to do this. If I have to do solitary confinement in order to do the things I want to do, then I will do that. That I held my...
I mean, $300,000 is an insane amount of money. I would consider it, but even then, I don't know if I'd be able to deal with it.
Tongue, and I swallowed my pride, and I tried to do one last ride. And I get there. And at first, it's fine.
Okay.
And, I mean, they had just freshly painted the set. You could smell it, Which that's probably not good.
Wait. You can't put someone in a room that's freshly painted. It has to dry first. I remember when our schools got painted, they had to, not let people in because the fumes are, fresh, right? Yeah, it's toxic. I do this 100% Raffle. Okay, man.
The smell of fresh paint in your surroundings for the next XYZ time.
Yeah.
It looked good on the visual. It looks good on camera. It's movie magic bullshit. It was a terrible facility. I mean, it was in one of the studios. They had to get a separate tank for septic stuff. Yeah, there was a hot tub in it. Yeah, there was an ice cream machine. Things were cool and funny on paper. But when you think about stuff, a hot tub, if not connected to a filtration system, give it 3 days, it's gonna
I didn't even think of that. That's... Ew!
Stink. There's not a hot water mechanism, so the hot tub was a lukewarm tub at best, which was a silly complaint, but the shower was always...
I mean, that means that bacteria is gonna propagate in it too, but don't even think about that part, man.
Cold, and you're taking a quick shower, and I had cameras 24/7 on me, and the ice cream machine, let's talk about that for a second. The ice cream machine has 2 modes, on, bang, and off, reeking of smelly dairy mildew. Oh, the mildew, and
then the hot, stinky tub? Oh, that's freaking insane.
Like, so I got to choose which sense was assaulted at a time. I couldn't have all of them good. So the little things started to build up. You know, there was like the bug thing wasn't like terrible, but it was a factor. And like at first it was fine, you know, and you're playing it up like, cause you know it's a video, and it got to a point where like they weren't turning the lights off. You know, I asked them, I said, can we like have like nighttime hours? You know, and they said no because it would fuck up the time lapse shots. The time.
But they do that in airplanes. Like, you have to have light. It's not, you will literally throw up because you don't have, like, darkness to fall asleep to. Like, that's how our brains work.
Time lapse of what? Me sleeping? Or me not sleeping? Yeah, I saw in other videos they did like, oh, you're gonna get XYZ hours of sunlight.
Yeah, just, like, do this for the time lapse, bro. What am I doing?
Oh, great! Want to know how they figured that one out? I didn't have it. You know, one of the things was you got to take away your clock, so you didn't know what time it was. Okay, I got no access to sun. I got no access to clock. I don't know, like...
Yeah, your perception of time. Like, at least with, like, lights going on and off, you can realize the perception of time from the lights going out, at least. Yo, MrBeast loves Guantanamo Bay for some reason.
The lights are on me all the time. I wasn't sleeping. I could not sleep, and I have insomnia problems now. But they might have started there. I had good people looking out for me. I had a lot of good people looking out for me, saying this we gotta stop. So I just wanted to turn the lights off, and I'm vocalizing to people. I wish the lights would turn off. And I go up to my friend.
And they're just watching him? Yeah, do it for the content. Do it for the content. Like, forget MrBeast. There's just people around and they're like, okay, you know, MrBeast wouldn't be very happy, so like, suck it up, bitch.
My good friend. And I go, they're not turning the lights off.
Smuggling a sleep mask. No, that does not help. It does not matter.
He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that.
Yes, the United Nations considers sleep deprivation to be a form of torture and a war crime under the Geneva Convention and the UN Torture Convention. You know, chat, sometimes it's a war crime, but sometimes it's just, you know, a little suggestion that you should probably not do that. You go crazy? No, you can die from it because you go bananas. But the content, guys, the content!
To terrorists. Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing.
Mr. Warbeast crime.
So, you know, they're giving me, you know, melatonin. You know, it's not helping. You know.
Yeah, and it's not helping because you're having those. So the picture, I don't know if they brought it up, but the picture is a bright white light room that's lit up all the time. Melatonin is not something that's gonna help with that at all.
And then Jimmy would come in like every other day for like an hour, you know, to check in on me because he's doing.
The peasant needs to have some emotional support. I'll give him an hour of my time. Peasant.
Other stuff, you know. I'm just the guy in the cage over here. He'll come back to me in a minute.
Yeah, he's a little animal.
And so he'd come by, he'd get the shots, he'd leave. Sometimes he'd have a note from the director over the phone. That would really piss me off. This is the note I got from the director, from Jimmy, when I'm receiving some cash. He said, Jimmy said, can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans?
Dude, if this is true, I would not put it past them to make them say that to, like, homeless people. Hey, bro, look at the camera. Be thankful, little guy. I have $300,000. I have $300,000. Dance, little man, dance! I just stared at him like, thank you, sir. Can I have another?
You know how hard it was to do a take of that?
Yeah. I can't imagine.
And pretend to make it genuine. I don't want to have student loans. I don't want to be in a cage. But Jimmy's the guy with the money, and if you do what he says, he'll do what you want. You want your student loans paid off? You just be in this cage. And you have power over people. When one person doesn't have resources and the other one does, and they hold it over your head, and you go, of course, yeah, I agreed to it.
5 nights at Jimmy's. At least if you had 5 nights at Jimmy's, you'd have nighttime, and it wouldn't be against the Geneva Convention! At least!
I needed it, of course. Just something about, like, having the cameras on me all the time. Like, I was not having a good time, but we were filming a video, so I was trying my best to be funny, you know? I'm a dark comic, you know? I got bits about, I had a very traumatic life. I have, my dad is in jail for sexual assault of a minor, you know? So this kind of stuff is very near and dear to my heart. You know, I don't fuck around with this shit. Yeah, I have jokes about that in my act. You know, I joke about it because, yeah, that's what you do in a traumatic experience. You know, abusive relationships. I get out of it. The first thing I do is I do a typine about it. You know, so I'm in this situation where my mental health is not good. My physical health is getting worse, but we're filming. So I'm doing bits. I'm talking to the camera. And I'm being, you know, like, hey, it's been a couple days. I'm not doing so hot, you know, which if I'm filming a video, that's what I should be doing for the camera. But it was too real. If they're faking videos, why couldn't we fake this one?
That's what I've been saying. They had the ship one that they faked. Why didn't they fake this one? No, man, we need you for the time lapse, bro.
You know, if we're allowed to let these cast members have some time off of this difficult challenge, how come we couldn't turn the lights off? How come we couldn't maybe not have some time lapse footage for 10 seconds?
Yeah.
Did you try to get out?
Yes! I was starting to calculate, I don't know if I could do 30. How much can I, well, how can I manage to get out of here sooner and still have a video and still have some cash and...
His brain is trying to reason a response where he could get away with something. He's doing circles in his head. That's terrifying, chat! He has PTSD!
Get the plug, man. I did... Since we're doing time-lapse shots, and since they insisted on time-lapse shots, I said, all right, we'll give you time-lapse shots back. I put my YouTube on with the whiteboard they gave me. And I was like, all right, yeah, go ahead and scrub that footage. You know, you got that whiteboard. Oh no, either that goes in, or this footage is unusable, and then, you know.
They scrubbed out his YouTube and subscribe? That's so sad. They wouldn't even leave that in? The guy's in a torture chamber and he wrote his YouTube like handle and they freaking scrubbed it out.
James Ward came in and erased it, you know.
Plugging
don't, hey, we can torture him. Don't you dare let him get a plug in there, you know?
That's insane.
Like we were playing up the joke, you know. It's like, I'm the boy in the cage, you know, whatever. Like, I'll play into a joke, whatever, it's fine. It's just something weird about when Jimmy jokes. I have jokes about my dad because I love jokes with my dad. I'll joke with my dad all the time. That guy's a piece of shit. I hate my dad. But I have friends that make fun of my dad. That's fine because I know their intent. I know where they're coming from.
Okay.
When Jimmy joked with my dad, and I sometimes seem weird. I don't like it. We were doing that one of those hide and seek videos again. You know, at the time they were a lot realer. So I got caught, and when you get caught, you know, you go to the place where you get caught. And I don't know if there's footage of this. I don't know if, you know, I definitely didn't make the final cut. But he says to me, all right, you're going to jail, you know, like your dad.
They're not friends. They're not friends. So he just straight up did that. It didn't make the final cut. Yeah, and that didn't make the final cut. That's
like,
sad, dude.
It's a joke. But when my friends do it, it's fine. And Jimmy just wasn't my friend. He was my boss. And that wasn't cool. And so now, I'm locked in a cage at his whim. And I have to do things to get the cash I need to live. And I got these cameras on me all the time. And I was unwell. I had editors coming up to me saying, "You good, bud?" And I was like, "Yeah, why? You're clearly unwell." And he goes, "Well, because the footage you're sending in is haunting. Because I'm trying to be funny, but I am mentally decaying, so I'm doing..."
Why are they even surprised, man? They're torturing him, and he's... They're sucking the soul out of him for money, chat!
Bits! Someone said there is a horror cut of a video in this. And I'm sitting like, who's watching this? Like, who wants to see this? What is fun about this, the video? And so the thing that made me want to, I gotta get out. I can't do another day in a year. Jimmy comes in and I'm asleep. I don't know what time it is. I don't know, it's like 2 or 3 or whatever. He's like, "Why is he sleeping?" I don't know, because I can't sleep. And he comes in, he wakes me up. And he goes,
"Wake up, monkey, it's time to dance."
Ask me why I have 2 briefcases. And I'm like, why do you have 2 briefcases? And he goes, "Oh, because this one's for today, you know, and this one's for the challenge." And I go, "What's the challenge today?" He goes, You're gonna run a marathon. You're gonna do the 22.6K, whatever it is. And you're gonna do it on that treadmill over there.
I told you, man. He said, "Get up, monkey, it's time to dance."
The first challenge I did was a Rubik's Cube. And I'm dyslexic, I'm dumb. I don't know how to do a Rubik's Cube. So your first challenge, Rubik's Cube. I was like, "Oh, I don't want to do it." I was like, "On camera, I don't want to do it." He goes, "Just do it for the thing." My kid, you know? Like, there was an element of, oh, Jake will do what we want because he's in-house. You know, that's one of the reasons why they got me. Jake's, he's an inside guy, so he'll do whatever. We can push him a little extra hard because we know he's good. I couldn't say no to the treadmill thing. Yeah. So people who run marathons train forever, and it's still hard.
Like, 1 kilometer run, okay. I would be like, okay, that's kind of weird and mean, but like a marathon? There's people who did Olympic marathons who trained professionally where at the end they throw up and like feel like they're going to die. This guy is being sleep deprived. He's dying. And they want him to do a marathon?
Again, writer. Do I look like I run? I don't run, you know? Let alone a marathon, let alone have training for it. So I was in a sunlightless, you know.
Did you try to say no? Like, did you have a choice, or?
Based on the Rubik's Cube thing and based on all the other stuff, like there was so much pressure to just do it, just do the thing, you know? And if I refuse...
Yeah, and what is he eating besides ice cream? That's another good point. Did they actually feed him, or is it just ice cream? Is that fake too? They can't fake giving him like real food before they run him like a dog?
Just, oh, that's the whole video. I guess the budget's, you know, so much money up in flames because Jake said he wouldn't want to do the thing. And so I wanted to be a good sport and I wanted to get the boost and I wanted the cash. And so I started running at 12. I was able to take some breaks and I asked him, "How long do I have?" He goes, "Until I get back."
Oh my god. Dude, Jimmy! Dude, if he's a villain! Yeah, whenever I get back, doesn't give him a time frame, just do it, man. Just do it for the content. Do it for the meme!
Yeah, I'm running until 3 a.m. I got off the treadmill. Oh, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid,
They must have some sort of medical evidence, man. If there's medical evidence, like him going to the hospital or going to a doctor, there has to be a crumb of something. He should sue.
I got off the treadmill, and then the people that came in to like ice my feet, make sure I was good. Then that's when I was like, I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. And that's when I get psych in, and I talk to the psych about how I'm not well. And
Really? Wow.
like I said, there was a lot of good people over there that was saying, you got to pull him out. Yeah, I had friends that did some freelance work, and they would tell me, they'd be like, yeah, everyone knows you over there, everybody loves you. They go, oh, Jake Weddle, love that guy. Shame what happened to him. Like I'm a ghost. And I asked him, I said, how much longer are you guys going to keep me in here? And the guy goes, realistically, like at least 7 more days?
After the treadmill thing? That's disgusting.
No.
He wasn't forced to do anything. He's an employee. Ah, yes. Leaving the lights on, even though he's an employee and agreed to it. Yeah, I'm sure that'll go over well. Yeah. Yeah, even Amazon lets you go back home, even if you do an 18-hour shift. Even Amazon. Maybe they signed a waiver? Maybe! I don't know! I don't know the details. This is all, like, them saying things. I don't know.
And they didn't let me leave right away either. They wanted to make sure, everything was fine. So I just, slept for a while. They turned the lights off.
Yay!
And it's like they brought in all my friends, to make it.
Oh my god, he actually has PTSD from this. This is sad, bro.
They brought in all the people I liked. And Jimmy. Then everybody was around me, making sure I was good, making sure I was okay. But Jimmy had his, he was sitting in the chair turned around like an evil villain. Swear to God. Everyone was looking at me, and he was like Lex Luthor over there. He turns around, he stands up. He does the exact same thing when he's pretending to have a human connection. When you're watching a video, and he's like, oh, stop, you're gonna make me cry. And he touches his eye or whatever as if he's crying. He's just... I didn't have to pretend to do that shit. She says, as if rehearsed by his lawyers. Your mental health's the most important thing. Just want to make sure you're okay. And the last thing we want you to do is...
There are certain behaviors that this dude does that just scream to me that he's recalling, actual trauma. Psychiatrists are trained to pick up on things, and I know this is all oh, well, you can't actually tell when people do tells. If you're a human with emotions, it's easy to tell when they're lying through, a number of cues. If you have, 7 cues and he falls into 5 of them, he's probably telling the truth. It's so just heart-wrenching hearing about this, man. Unless he's, an A-tier actor, but even then, it's just crazy.
Hear the word Sue come out of his mouth. The S, he just stopped right before it got out.
I did not get the 300K. What I got, he goes, think of it this way. At least you get to keep what you earned. You were in there for XYZ days. You did XYZ challenges, so you got, 100,000 some change, give or take.
He didn't even give him the 300, he gave him 100K. Which is still a lot of money, but it's how long ago was this challenge? Chat, can someone look it up, or I'll look it up. Hey, MrBeast, survived in, what's the video called? 30 days? Survive days trapped within $500,000. Is that the one? This video didn't come out? Oh, it didn't come out! Okay. I didn't know. I thought it came out. Yeah, 100K for psychological torture where you can't sleep and then you get blisters on your feet that make you cry. That's sad.
You know how much money I spent in taxes in 2021? I spent $44,000 in taxes alone. And now I spent all that money on doing stand-up. I bought plane tickets to go do comedy festivals. You know, my family back home, I gave them a bunch of stuff that they needed. And haven't been back on a Beast set in any official capacity or unofficial capacity since then. And then they did the video with somebody else, and they worked out the kinks. And then I'd still gotten some hot water, and I knew it would. And I've wanted to say a lot of this for a long time. And I feel good now. I just had to get that out there.
So I just want to hop in here and show some text that Jake sent.
It was a guinea pig. Yeah, if it's an unreleased video, they were probably just testing the limits. Which even in itself is so wrong.
Me after this interview. This is July 29, 2021, a few days after he got out.
How you feeling after a few days? Better? I still couldn't sleep even a few days out, but I always have my sleep cycle back on track. My legs and joints are good, but the blisters on my feet still hurt to walk on. Medical advice I got was not to lance them and just let them go away with time. I'm mentally still in an uneasy place, but I've gotten back on better help. My therapist is a little concerned, but we are working on things. Man, this is a very polite text. This is from 3 years ago.
Out of solitary. How are you feeling after a few days? Better. I still couldn't sleep even a few days out, but I almost have my sleep cycle back on track. My legs and joints are good, but the blisters on my feet still hurt to walk on. Medical advice I got was not to lance them and just let them go away with time. I'm mentally still in an uneasy place, but I've gotten back on better help. My therapist is a little concerned, but we are working on things. Reminder, this is not supposed to be a traumatic life event. This is supposed to be a MrBeast video. Hey Jake, hope you're doing okay.
That's sad.
Okay, Meg and I just wanted to check in on you. Hey, I'm good and I appreciate that. I'm not exactly 100%. I feel like mentally I'm still recovering a bit, but back in therapy and my therapist is concerned. Haha, but my legs and joints feel better, like I can walk, but my feet are still covered on those blisters and those hurt to walk on. But I was told the best thing to do is stay off my feet and let them heal. I'm in Raleigh with my family. Also,
sorry, I just have to make this, like, when did Squid Games come out? When did that come out? Was he inspired to like put people through this kind of thing because they need the money? This guy clearly needed the money for like whatever reason. 2021? Hold on. If they film this in July, Squid Games release date, September 2021. So they filmed this before Squid Games became a thing. Maybe they were inspired by MrBeast.
It'll be like a month before I get the money, and they aren't giving me all the money. They're giving me what I won up to that point in the game, which was also a slap in the face, but hey, I'm out, I'm alive. Therapist who knows and cares about you. The whole thing was so fucked, and honestly, fuck them for not giving you the money. Meg and I are wishing you the best with your recovery, and please feel free to reach out if you need anyone to talk to or need a place to crash in New York. Hope you're doing well, man. That video you uploaded is money. So good. I appreciate. I'm doing better physically. Mentally, I'm still kind of in a place. I still can't sleep. I've slept 5 hours in the past 3 days, marathon included. I don't know what's wrong with me.
His body's like in a recession.
Lots of thinking, too much one might say. Hope they're taking care of you where they can. I mean, I was kind of shocked they didn't pay me for the full 25, 30 days. They paid me what I made up to that point. Like even when we have to pull the plug for my mental health, the mechanism of the game is still at play. I'm just happy to be out. I still can't walk well, but it hurts less. And like, I'm not famous enough to burn a bridge. So at the end of the day, I'm still Jimmy's bitch. Like if I was Carl and he did that to me, I'd ruin him. And they want to do it again. That could be your leverage. If the guy breaks down also, 2 is better than 1. Yeah, right. I told them everything they did to me that they can't do again in order to make sure the other person doesn't break down as fast. But like the way the video is meant to function is the problem. It's a bad idea, full stop. It sounds clickbaity, sounds right up Jimmy's alley, but it's morally unethical like on every level. Off-camera breaks, lights off at night, visitation, take the marathon out. Marathon is a video in itself. You can't expect someone to exert themselves like that for 45 seconds of content. The challenge is—
Oh yes you can, because it's gonna make a lot of money.
Really made it feel dehumanizing. Felt like a parody of MrBeast. I felt like the homeless guy they could exploit. It felt like if Jeff Bezos had a GIMP. It felt like if Jeff Bezos had a GIMP. Part of me wants the footage burned and part of me thinks that there's a great horror cut in there. LMAO, he was so fake when he came in and said he cared about my mental health. They must have programmed the care about mental health updates. He said—
It's a reptile.
we also don't want you to, and I swear to our Lord and Savior, he stopped himself from saying sue. Also, as far as like, he could have said no, he could have left at any time. I want to show this segment from an internal document at MrBeast called How to Succeed in MrBeast Production. Specifically on page 19, there's a paragraph called No Does Not Mean No.
Excuse me, what? No, I'm sorry, what? No doesn't mean no.
Already insane, because it's sort of, it seems to be co-opting the popular anti-rape slogan, which is a terrible look given the allegations that are going to be coming out very soon. It reads, when dealing with people outside MrBeast Productions, never take no at face value. If we need a store to buy everything inside of, and you can call the local Dollar Tree, and the person that answers says, no, you can't film here, that literally doesn't mean shit.
And this is a playbook chat.
Talk to other employees and see if they are fans or if any have kids that are fans. Try talking to their boss's boss. Have me DM them on Twitter.
That's smart. Using your $1 million influence. You're the biggest YouTuber in the world.
And try their social team. If all avenues are exhausted and you are left with a no, that doesn't mean don't try the other Dollar Trees because the manager of those could be huge fans and willing to bend the rules. Basically what I'm trying to convey is what we call pushing through no. Don't stop because one person told you no. Stop when all conceivable options are exhausted. This is one of many tools that when combined dramatically improve your probability of success when producing here. So yeah, this idea of like pushing through no's is a big component to working at MrBeast. And the way that it manifests itself a lot of the time is like a director might tell a producer, hey, we need access to 30 acres of farmland by Tuesday or we lose $500,000. Now, if you're the producer, you obviously know that means get it done or you lose your job. So what can happen is like a producer's calling up farmers saying, hey, I need to use your land. And the farmer might be like, okay, but you know, I have animals, you can't be making really loud noises, no pyrotechnics, and you got to clean it.
Well, the other thing is that the farmers are all different individuals. They're not owned by like a company. If you go to a Dollar Tree and they say no filming is a policy, but then you kind of like twist their arm and be like, oh, well, if you love MrBeast, we could like feature you in the video and like it'll be okay. And they're like, okay, all right, fine, I'll do it. And then they're taking the hit because it's illegal or it's against their policies.
Everything up. So the producer is sort of incentivized to lie and say, or maybe the producer doesn't even actually know the total contents of the video, right? Things changed last second. So they're very like, they're financially incentivized to be manipulative and sort of, they're put in positions where it's like, oh, it's either the producer's job or a civilian's job, like where it talks about, hey, maybe the manager would be willing to bend the rules. Well, you shouldn't really be pressuring civilians to bend the rules that could get them fired, you know?
Oh, yes,
I'll show you a real life example. This is unused evidence from part 1. I had seen this Reddit post titled MrBeast leaving trash behind and debris at film site in Aden, North Carolina. Apparently he left a large boat in a pond as well as debris around the film site in the bottom of the pond weeks and weeks after the agreed time frame. This actually rendered it unsafe for campers and almost delayed the camp's opening date multiple times due to not being able to get in contact with MrBeast to get the stuff cleaned up out of the area. So I actually know that this is from a MrBeast video called Protect the Yacht, Keep It. Where at the end of that video, he actually says...
And if you're wondering, yes, we did ensure the lake was completely cleaned up after this video.
He straight up lies. He straight up lies. If this is true, he straight up lied.
So, for the love of God, subscribe so we can pass T-Series.
Yeah, so he says at the end of the video that they made sure it was cleaned up. I was actually on site for part of this production. I was at this camp. So I decided to send an email out to the camp, basically saying, hey, I heard these rumors. I'm investigating similar incidents. And the camp responded, actually not denying the claims, going on to say, I am sure that there are no perfect film productions, just as there are no perfect people. I am grateful for the opportunity that we had to host the production crew, and because grace, or forgiveness, has been offered to me so freely, I will choose to offer the same. So clearly alluding to the fact that there was a...
They're just exploiting their kindness. They just said, fuck it, we don't want to deal with MrBeast. They could also be an intimidation tactic, because, like, I mean, realistically, they're just some camp, right? That, like, you know, is part of, like, contributing to the lake. So they didn't want to deal with it and just said, okay, sorry, like, yeah, it's fine, we forgive him. Please don't hurt us. You have a lot of money and we don't. That is an intimidation tactic. It's very valid, chat.
Wrongdoing by MrBeast production team. And that's like sort of the thing is, if you're around Greenville, you know these stories of people working with MrBeast and it being extremely unprofessional, them not doing what they say. But they sort of get by a lot on their good public image. And like, I mean, this camp offered to host them.
Again, image. Image is so important. That's why he's doing this. He's deleting everything so it doesn't look that bad. It all makes sense, chat.
Completely for free. And I guarantee, like, if you went to the lake at the camp and you went magnet fishing, like, you'd find all sorts of debris that's still there to this day. Like, they didn't clean it all up. So in the case of Jake Weddle, like, I'm sure that there were producers who were in a position of, hey, if Jake gets out early, we don't have a video and your job is at risk. So there's a tremendous amount of pressure on top of, like, him being delirious from not sleeping and everything to just manipulate him into staying. Which, you know, I'm sure this isn't, like, technically against the Geneva Convention on torture because he wasn't technically a prisoner. Like, he could have left at any time, but because of the extreme pressure to stay in, it's not really a reasonable expectation that he could have just, you know, walked out.
Because of the implication.
Yeah, the implication of never being able to work at MrBeast again. The same... I don't like it when people are, like, defending, like, oh, well, he could have just walked away. The same thing happens at high-octane, high-paid jobs. Do it, or we're gonna tell everyone that you did this thing and didn't work for the company anymore. We're gonna let you go. It happens everywhere, man. Except, you know, in Hollywood, it comes out every couple of years. Maybe every 5 years it comes out like, hey, this guy did a really bad thing and you're blacklisted from working at these movies because the director said that you wouldn't suck his wiener. Please stop with the Geneva Convention. Absolutely doesn't apply. This is bad workplace conditions, not a fucking war crime. I'm about to get one guide again, I swear to God. I swear to God I'm gonna get one guide again. Oh, thank you, ad blocker. Where was I? Okay, anyway.
I think Jimmy is a awkward kid who maybe, had it a little rough growing up. I can't speak on that, but I do have empathy for it. Because I had it rough growing up, and I think when you're hyper fixated on something, like I love stand-up, he loves YouTube, everyone fixates on a thing, I think he just wanted to be the best YouTuber so bad, and because the industry's metrics, rewarded some not great behavior, if you're just going on autopilot based on what the numbers say,
Okay, let me put it into perspective. If I, for example, was starting to work with a big VTuber, I'm not gonna name names because people are fucking stupid and they need, like, an actual, like, fake made-up analogy so it doesn't look really bad. This girl has 30,000 viewers and I start collaborating with her and start, like, forsaking my time and my workplace conditions to work with them 24/7 because I need the money because I can't afford to be my own VTuber. And they put me through this kind of thing for content? That's illegal. You can't do that. You're using the dynamic of you being my employee and doing this shit because I need the money. Oh, just walk away. Yeah, let me just go be poor. Let me just go and be like, live under a bridge. Did you sign a waiver? Oh my fucking god. Oh my god, I'm about to fucking lose it. Ugh. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna stop being one guy. It's fine. It's fine. You don't get it, it's fine.
You can do some things that maybe aren't good,
Waiver your rights as a human being. Yeah, that's legal.
but reap reward. And I think Jimmy just did what the industry and maybe what this system that we have set up demanded. And he didn't care who got hurt. And I think Jimmy surrounded himself with really, really not so great people, and those people were the ones making the decisions. And
you have to keep in mind, if you are MrBeast and you surround yourself with people who are like-minded, they need money for content, they're all being paid, they want to be in this cult or like, you know, circle that continues to make them money. That's why there's companies that cut down the Amazon force, because they want to keep getting paid. They want to keep buying yachts. They want to keep making soy paste for you to consume at millions of restaurants around the world. It's just... I just find it so disingenuous when people like say, oh, well, you know, it's not possible that this person is getting tortured or they're abusing people for content because there's so many other people around them. Hollywood, people always say this shit and say, oh, well, Hollywood has this problem and like people get abused, but like they get paid millions of dollars. It's like, it doesn't matter. Money and mental illness, you contracting a mental illness, because PTSD is a mental illness that you can grow up with or contract from circumstances, is not worth the money. And if you walk away, do you want to be poor living under a bridge? Or be in debt and be, you know, stuck like... It's just sad. It's just sad.
I want to say, really important, there are so many good people that work at MrBeast who are damn good at their jobs. Like,
sure.
When Jimmy comes in and asks for something impossible, it's these people's jobs to do it. And they shouldn't be able to make it happen, and they do.
I think that the image that Jimmy has is also that he's sort of relatable as a human being. And people don't perceive him as a massive conglomerate. They don't see him as, like... He is McDonald's as a person. He's so much bigger than people perceive him. It's terrifying that people are defending him and saying, like, oh, well, he's just a guy. Yeah, he's Disney. He's Ronald McDonald. Like... It's a brand at this point. He's not a human, he's a reptile.
And so, I don't think people wanted to talk about stuff because I didn't want my friends to lose their jobs. I don't care about my fucking job. I'll die in a hole, I don't care. But I don't want my friends to lose their jobs. You know? I don't want anyone's reputation to be fucked.
Yeah.
You know? But, let's just go back to my dad for a second, if I may. My dad was like a swim coach, your neighborhood swim team. Everybody loved him. Everybody loved him. Behind closed doors, he's a real piece of shit. Okay. And so when stuff starts hitting the fan, what? Him? No. Surely.
That's a classic domestic abuse story. On the outside, is perceived as perfect and wonderful. I've heard this many stories many times before. I had a friend that had a narcissistic mother. And outside, they would always be like, wow, really? Oh, your mom is so great. But then behind closed doors, they abuse the shit out of him. Very classic story.
And then, you know, everyone thought my mom was the bitch, for not,
Yeah.
But then the news broke, that he did what he did to one of the students of the team. And it's like when that comes out, you're not surprised, You just go, when I saw my dad in the news, I said, "Oh, you idiots!" Like I was like, "No, what?" I was, "Oh, dumbass! God damn it!" But I wasn't surprised, and it was just a consequence that's happened to somebody who was really good at avoiding them for a long time. And I don't know, everybody loves Jimmy, and behind closed doors, he is not super great, and that image is cultivated purposefully and intentionally, and it's branding, it's marketing, it's YouTube.
Okay, so I guess
Golden
just one
child
final
chat.
question on a serious note. Obviously, the Ava Chris Tyson drama, and that's a known issue of traditional media. Did you witness or hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
It's crazy. I probably hung out with Ava the most out of the main cast, just because I was on Beast Hacks, now Beast Reacts. I don't know if it's still out. That was a lot of fun because it was just being silly and goofy in front of the camera. And Ava was the only person who was willing to film. Everybody else was too busy or didn't want to, and I was just trying to do my job. Sometimes there'd be like an offhanded joke that's a little gross. I mean, I'm a stand-up, so I'm very desensitized to that. I didn't hear anything that was like, whoa, that's crazy. Like when I saw, the reason I messaged you instead of talking to reporters sweetly like I have been was when I saw the Discord stuff because when I got there, it was like 2019. So I guess if the timelines add up, that would have been like handled, for lack of a better term. And then they started bringing more people on. Maybe they thought they had that under the rug. All right, we handled that. Now let's bring in some writers. And when I saw it, all that stuff start coming out, and the potentiality as of this moment of recording. I know this has been happening fast and stuff has been coming out so fast. Just the potential that Jimmy could have been in those Discord chats.
Well, it's proven that he was in those chats. Was it not?
Or even the potential that he participated in those Discord chats. After the shit he did to me, and if you're gonna make fun of my dad, I don't care what happens to me and my career and reputation after this. I had to say some stuff. So whatever happens at this point.
Outside of Ava Chris Tyson, did you ever hear about any sexual misconduct at the company?
I've heard rumors. I can't confirm or deny anything. I don't have any tangible evidence, but I've heard stuff that if it could be investigated, that'd be great. But it's like water cooler talk. But I've heard things, yes, of course. I heard, people have been let go for sexually assaulting some very young people. The idea that Jimmy didn't know, or that Jimmy was covering stuff up. He didn't want stuff to come out. He's very careful about his image.
Yeah.
The tangible proof that he knew but covered it up. How do you prove that, Well, there was a known sex offender, registered sex offender, convicted sex offender on the registry and everything, who worked there. And you can, someone pees.
They censored it. Was this up before? Did they censor it? He had to censor it. Oh my gosh. Chat, if you watch this video, type 1 if you didn't see it blurred. It's blurred for me. 111. Oh my god, they had to censor it. Oh my god.
In public, you're on the registry. You get it. You can still have a job after you're on the. That's one thing. You go to prison, you get rehabilitated. That's one thing. If you do your time, that's fine. I think there should be rehabilitation in this country.
Chat, I don't know how legality works, even for like YouTube videos, even though I post YouTube videos. This is public record. I don't know if you're allowed to post it. I don't know.
That guy, from what I hear, I can't confirm or deny, from what I hear, he's on the registry for doing some not great stuff to some underage people.
I'm not gonna say it, but I wanna say it. I'm not gonna say it, but I wanna say it. You know what I'm saying. I am telepathically beaming thoughts into your head. You're such a wretch. You're below a wretch. If this is true, that's heinous.
And they knew that. He's working at a channel that has underage people on and around and is targeted to underage people.
Yep, for sure.
And they covered up the fact that not only did he work there, but he was like the manager when it all started. And you know that he knew, and because he'll be in videos, he'll be in thumbnails, he'll be around, and whenever he is.
They put a mask on him to hide his identity? Why did they... Hold on. Hold on. Did I see that right? They weren't wearing masks, but... This guy was? And he's the one that they're talking about? I don't know, man. Maybe it's part of the video, you guys. Haha.
And whenever he is, he's wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered sex offender? And that your face can be looked up on a thing? How much more can you literally cover up a sex offender? With a physical mask? Like, do I have to... Is it more on the nose? Or... I don't know why they let him go, because there's rumors back and forth. You know, so I don't know why they let him go, but he did leave at one point. Even if that guy didn't do anything, they still knew about it and he was still around. And what if he's one of the people in the Discord servers? What if he...
So he knew, huh? I don't know, man. This is just falling into place. Call me a schizo, but all the lines, you know, when you have like a little dartboard and you have like the string, and it's just like, it's so crazy to me. I would be surprised if this was all just like a coincidence at this point. I would eat my own shoe.
He's not. I don't know. But when I was there, they called him Delaware. He's like, why do you call him Delaware?
Wait, Delaware? The state Delaware? Why?
No, apparently they called him Delaware because he's not allowed to go back to Delaware. That's his nickname?
What?
Colloquially? Like, you know, it's Delaware.
And you're joking about it?
Where? Don't ask him why, you know? The fuck?
And Jimmy knew about it?
The likelihood that he didn't know is astronomically low.
Okay, so finally I have a recorded phone conversation. The person on the other end of this line is a different former MrBeast employee talking about Delaware.
The Delaware diddler. I'm sorry for laughing at this, but... Oh my god, I'm sorry for laughing. I laugh because it's so fucked up, man. That's horrible. Why would you even... Why would you call him that? That's like... What world am I living in?
Also, apparently before this phone conversation...
Sorry, what was this say? People found a video where Jimmy calls him Delaware, so he knew 100%. Look up destroyed friend's house and bought him a new one and go to around 219. 1 second. Uno momento. Let me bring it up. Destroyed friend's house and bought him a new one. From 5 years ago. Okay. 219.
It's more rare than Bitcoin.
Alright. I'm ready.
To destroying Delaware's house. Cheers. That's super thick.
Chat, it's a coincidence. It's a coincidence, man. Can I send a tweet with more info about Delaware? Sure, man. The Delaware Diddler. No way. Here's the truth. Oh my lord, this is an essay. I'm gonna try and skim through it. Here's the truth. Yes, Delaware is my brother-in-law. Yes, he is a registered stingy offender. When he was 21, a 16-year-old girl accused him and others of SA when she was 11. Delaware took a plea deal. That's why there was no jail time, but he still had to register. His nickname is in Delaware because he can't go back to Delaware. He's from Delaware. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He's been back several times. He was hired before I was and was actually the reason I got hired by MrBeast. For being hired, Delaware sat down with Jimmy and Jimmy's mom and explained to them everything. So yes, Jimmy knew. You knew one of your friends diddled an 11-year-old and he pled guilty. I hate this planet. Can we just, like, blow it up? Like, you're such a piece of shit. Like, I can't even. I don't have no words for this. Corporate neglecting hiring? I think this was 6 years ago before they went full corpo. Like, they were really popular, so they just didn't care. They didn't think they would get this far. I think that's part of the reason. I'm not trying to excuse it, by the way. I think this is disgusting, but like, okay, hold on. Let me finish reading this. He knew everything. But again, this incident happened in 2010. Delaware was hired in 2017 and 18. Delaware was also let go from the company before I was. Delaware was supposed to be a behind-the-scenes manager, but in a couple of videos, he was asked to partake because we needed people. He was all reluctant, especially in a straitjacket video, because of his charges, unless he wore a mask. Okay, yeah, this tracks if it's true. Delaware's charges are set to be dropped this fall. Delaware has been nothing but a good person, amazing husband to my sister, and the best father to my 2 nieces I could ever ask for. They want no part of this. They just wanted to live their lives away from the limelight. But then you go on a freaking... Okay, hold on. I'm gonna rationalize this down. If he was reluctant, he still wanted to please MrBeast. I understand why anyone would be upset, frustrated over these allegations. Do not blame them. Hurting kids in any way is completely unacceptable in the case of Delaware. I firmly believe he did nothing wrong and look forward to the day these charges are dropped. But he pled guilty. He took a plea deal. But, okay. Plea deal is different? Yeah. Yeah. When he was 21, a 16-year-old girl accused him and others of SA when she was 11. I'm tired, Trout. I want to finish the video. This is insane. He was 16 at the time. That's even... I don't know. I feel like that's even worse. You're 16 and she was 11? He was 21? No, I think what you guys are confusing. When he was 21, a 16-year-old girl accused him when she was 11. So therefore, if they're 5 years apart, he was 16 and she was 11. Yeah, you guys are confusing it. You're not reading it properly. Yeah, he did it at 16, but then 5 years later, it probably came out. It's very, very common. It's very, very common for this kind of thing to happen. They don't realize what happened to them. And, yeah. They probably found out and pressed charges. Alright. Oh my god, I'm getting like a secondhand headache from this. Oh my god. Oh, let's keep it going. Surely it doesn't get worse, chat!
Got recorded. The person on the other end of the line said that the MrBeast team was actually trying to expunge Delaware's record off the registry, and that's what actually like sparked this person to start recording.
Was he was a hustler, dude. Like, we honest with you, he was a hustler for extra money. We didn't thought about who sent for them. You know what I mean? Like, if Jimmy was like, I need a set done, and Delaire was like, would you do it for like $1,000? Well, that's like, just go out there and fucking make a set for like 8 hours by himself. You know, I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. And it was Reed's idea to get involved.
Guys, they're concealing their identity, man. Come on, be mature.
And then we went through that whole cycle of different VPs and managers and, you know, people that won't talk to us anymore because they're scared of Jimmy. And if you really don't do anything in the affidavits or testimony or some people, you have to move very quickly because one of those people are going to go back and say,
Okay, so Reed is MrBeast's former manager who was in the last video telling Jimmy.
Yeah, this manager, by the way, he got fired by MrBeast. And he's the one that told him not to take certain deals because they were bad for his image. And he disagreed with them and stuff.
You know, hey, don't promote gambling to children. So, you know, I think Reed's taken 2 W's this month. You know, don't promote gambling to children and don't have offenders on payroll. Also, yeah, just from where I'm sitting, it seems extremely unlikely that Jimmy wouldn't know. But, you know, I know I'm sure that's the defense he'll go with. So I'll just say preemptively, like, you know, if somehow Jimmy didn't know about Delaware, I think it's still
if
such an extreme level of negligence. Like, what, you're not doing background checks, you're not, everyone at your company knows, but somehow you don't know. I think that needs more of an explanation than just saying, I didn't know. Well, how didn't you know? How did this person get into the company and you know, a company that makes content for children and is around children? So yeah, Jimmy, I think we need an explanation from you or you know, your lawyers and PR people and representatives and spokespeople.
Again, I think there's a big factor to them being 6 years ago. They were one of the biggest YouTubers out there. But I think that as it grew, it spiraled out of control, and he's like, all right, maybe we should start doing background checks now. They didn't take it seriously. That's why there's the videos of the Shadman fan art up as well, and then they started taking it down.
Persons and on how you could have not known that there was an offender at a high level in your company. And while you're responding to that, why not just respond to the allegations of rigging contest videos and selling fake signatures, running illegal lotteries, you know, the dangerous conditions on the set of Beast games, you should address those too. So yeah, just let us know. Okay, that was my interview with former MrBeast employee Jake Weddle. I know he will be coming out with a longer cut of this interview as well as other content.
What?
So I just wanted to shout him out.
More.
Jake Weddle, top link in the description. I've waited a long time to talk about a lot of this publicly, so thank you for doing what you're doing.
I don't know if this is copyrighted or not, but this is sad, bro. Oh my god. This is sad, man. I don't know, man, chat. Always take things with a grain of salt, but holy smoke, some of these things are just lining up together, you know? The comments are sad and disturbing, too. What, underneath the video? The title was not, in fact, clickbait. Look, when you get a lot of money, I think there's a degree of, like, mental illness that does creep into your soul. Because you start not perceiving other people as, like, human beings. They're just props to you. Especially when you involve them in videos that make you money. Oh, yeah.